How many of you been to prison? Oh my goodness me. And can I ask if you're all deadbeat losers who have no education and you're all bums? No hands. Okay. I do have some mothers in the room as well. This is not just about fathers, but it is about mothers. So I think I have to say that if we were in the Eurovision Song Contest, would it be nil point or 12 points? Nil point for Israel's human rights and 12 points for the abuse. What I'd like to do, Moshe, if that's okay, is I just want to start you with a couple of people who've come from overseas. Dale, would you like to just come up? I know you haven't prepared anything and I will help you. I'd like you to welcome Dale. He's come all the way from Spat. I'll give you a little background on him. He's actually Barbara Streisand's cousin. He's been trying for 6-7 years to make Aliyah. He's never quite Jewish enough for Israel. They don't always accept him, but he's been persistent and he's finally got here. He made Aliyah, they accepted him. He has an Australian-born daughter, or he did have, until when he arrived, the social workers decided they'd rather have her than he had her. So he hasn't got his daughter with him. And as a result of that, the social workers put criminal charges on him for alimut, or violence, the usual thing. Yeah, we all know what that looks like. Because of that criminal charges, Aliyah was stopped. He has a wife and 3 children, beautiful children. His baby, little baby, is 5 months old. He's starving. He has no right to be here, no right to leave. His children are ending up with no rights, and he's in a desperate state. I'm going to give him the floor. He's not prepared this, but he's come an awful long way, and he's borrowed money, and I think he's very brave. Okay. You tell me exactly now what you wanted to say, because I know you've come all this way from Spat for help. You're desperate for help. Okay. Let me just say, this man is very right-wing Zionist, religious, believes in his country. Well, he did, until he got here. And in the last few months, I've seen him change from, I love this, to, I think I might have to leave and bring my Jewish children up in a different country that's safer for them. Don't put your plea out, okay? Everyone's watching, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. We were living in the Philippines. My wife is from the Philippines, and we were living on a remote island in the Philippines. And in 2009, we decided we wanted to come to Israel and raise our children, or our child, in a Jewish place. And we applied and we were denied. The Jewish agency didn't know what to do with us, so they kept handing us over to different people. It took about 7-8 months. And I was so upset for being denied, I just wrote letters from the Philippines to different newspapers here, and a couple papers answered me, and one wanted to do an article, and I did an article at Ariel. So I didn't know the difference of any newspapers at that time. And they called me in the Philippines, and the headlines, Barbara Streisand is my first cousin, so that the headlines was Barbara Streisand's cousins denied Aliyah. And I was raised in a Jewish family and all that, but I took it a side detour when I grew up in the 60s in California, lived in India a long time. But I came back to Judaism in a very strong way, especially in Asia. And my wife is a giver, and very, very sincere. And we're denied. So anyways, about 40 people wrote to me, it's not fair, you can't make Aliyah, there's people come to Israel. So there was one lawyer.
Let me ask you just right now, what is your current situation and what sort of mess are you in?
Okay, well, I have my daughter's going to be 16, one of my daughters. And I don't know if you have a teenager, but they're not the easiest to deal with. So my daughter, 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, she was, let's say, acting up, and no one was in the house, and I asked her to do something. I came in 2 hours later, she didn't do it, and so I wanted to see her phone because she was doing things she shouldn't be doing on her phone, so it was a bit of a brawl.
You are such a sweet guy. You know how it is here, don't you? You know when you all get into your stories. I'm going to try and help you focus because time's short. Okay, your daughter was born in Australia, and due to a call and due to a noise, the social workers came and took her away from you, am I right?
Pretty much right.
And she's born in Australia, am I correct?
She has American and Australian citizenship. She's born in Australia, yeah. So get to the bottom line is that it took a long time. They finally agreed, the Mizrahim, to give us Aliyah. So when I went down to the Mizrahim to get our pass to get stamped, it answered the matter of the spot office. And that was a long story in itself. said you should have a criminal case open. You can't get aliyah. I said, what are you talking about? We were approved of you. Yeah, you can't. But I said, it's not. You have to hear my side of the story. It's not fair. So we live. My wife's from the Philippines, from the country. We have 4 kids. We don't get a cent from the government. We have to live. It's so difficult. And we just wanted to come here and live and raise our kids in a Jewish way. And my children are speaking very good Hebrew now. It's almost 3 years. And it's one thing after another. And my wife was working. We have small children.
Let me just explain to you here that this man's made aliyah. He has no money. He can't make aliyah. He's not being fed. His eldest son has no rights. His wife is running out of rights. And soon he's going to have to leave because he's starving to death up in Sadka. And now he can't leave because he has a criminal case. So like many, many people in this room, he's not a human being. He doesn't belong and he does not belong. He can't leave and he can't stay. And Dale's come all the way from Sadka to ask for help. He needs help desperately, desperately from someone in authority. And here we have someone. Is there anything else you want to add for me, Dale, at this point?
Well, our first choice is to stay in Israel. It took a lot to come here. We didn't get the red carpet treatment from Nefesh B'Nefesh, complete opposite. And we're here, and every day's a battle. You know, we had a nice property in the Philippines. We came here, and we're living very difficult. We just want to live here, get rid of this, expunge this case or whatever, so we can live like normal people.
You're great. Listen, he wants to live here, but would you advise people to make aliyah?
Well, I would not advise. I think it's not such a blanket thing. I think they really got to look into it and check everything out because it's not all cracked up with, where it says it's going to be.
We'll talk a bit later. Thank you. Isn't he great? Don't you think? The stories get worse. Simon. Where do you go? Oh, you're British. You're like me. And you're so polite like me. And you think like me that there's justice here. Don't you?
I hope there is.
All right. You know how to... I can't let you tell your whole story because everybody here knows that there are lots and lots of stories. But let me just give you a background. Simon is British. He's not Israeli. He's actually a tourist, if you want to put it that way. But he does have a wife and children. He's trapped in Israel. He can't leave. And why is he trapped? And I'll tell you, he's trapped for future mezanot. The thing that everyone tells me is not true happens to Maya. It's 800,000 shekel a head to be able to go and live his life somewhere. He's bankrupt, he's destitute, and also this lovely tourist got arrested for a false claim. Because they don't just pick on Israelis, There's no discrimination. Let's pick on the tourists. Let's get them in jail as well.
Hi, I'm not used to giving speeches or being in front of people. I'm Simon Sadka. I came to Israel to have a Jewish family and to grow up here. I've worked hard all my life. I've worked hard all my life, and I gave all my earnings to the mother of my children. And she's hidden everything, and when things got bad, she called the police and had me removed. I was thrown out virtually in the street, not understanding the language, not understanding the procedure, questioned at 4:30 in the morning, not being allowed to make a phone call. I went to the Ravacha thinking, just like in England, that they protect the children, because I was scared for the danger of my children. I faced court case.
Can you work here?
No.
Oh, you know.
I can't work here. All my life I've worked outside Israel. I was spending a week here or 2 weeks here and working in Asia. All my earnings, my business collapsed through the 2008 crisis. I came back. I have no family to come back to as such.
Simon, how human do you feel right now?
I don't feel very human. I've had to fight every single day, being slapped from different courts, different places. Visitation arrangement cancelled. My youngest daughter is in such a state of parental alienation that it's been advised by the court that she needs to have a psychodiagnostic analysed. My wife, my soon-to-be ex-wife, refuses to agree to the process.
Tell me, how does it feel to be taken by the police, treated like a dog, like a criminal, with no Hebrew, no help, and no understanding of the system?
It's being humiliated to be taken in shackle outside Petah Tikva court. I've never hurt anybody in my life. I've never raised a hand to anybody in my life. And to go through the cycle of not knowing, not understanding, and it's not about the truth or justice. It's, from what I see, is how much connections you have. If you're well connected and you know who to turn to, you can get your way. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Okay, we're going to cut you short because I know the time's short for you.
I've been fighting for 4 years for my children. I've been fighting for justice. And I'm here, not knowing anybody, I'm not giving up on my children. Yesterday, in the Supreme Court, a rabbinic court in Jerusalem, they're forcing her to get a get. And outside the court, she said to me, I have my family, I have the children. With a click of my finger, I can take the children away from you. And for all I care, you can jump out the window. And is this fair that I can't recover myself, start working, providing for my children? To be locked up here like a prisoner? My mother is sick in England. I can't go back because I need guarantees. And I even offered to give her most of the house and to pay all future alimony as well. But they refused to let me, she refuses to let me leave the country.
I'll do you again, I promise. Simon, you see the thing? I hope you can feel the clamor of normal, regular people. Tzion, I want you to just come down and talk to me for a minute. I'm going to give you guys a background on this. Tzion's an American born. His parents made Aliyah when he was 8, and he came to live here at the age of 8. He left the country for quite a while and raised 3 children by himself in America, and came back because he thought it'd be nice for his son to have a bar mitzvah, his big one to be in the army, and so on and so forth. The rejection that he made of a woman who made advances at him resulted in a false claim to the Ravacha, saying that his children were starving, they were barefoot, and they weren't at school. Ironically, your children were taken from school. He's going to tell you a little bit, but I just want you to know that as of Friday, his American-born children, he cannot ever see them again. Ever. No phone calls, no communication. They've been split. And his son told the world on a phone call last week, they took my dad, my sister, my brother, me, my heart, and they've broken me. And he is locked up with no computer, no phone, and nothing. And he's 13, denied a bar mitzvah. The rabbinut said, tough. I know how you're feeling, so go for it. Say what you want to say.
Good evening. As Marianne said, my children were taken away a year and a half ago after being a returned resident, Toshav Chozer, and from one phone call from a friend, a lady friend, not even a girlfriend, the Ravacha came to my kids' school in Jerusalem and took my children away. My daughter I've seen 6 times, maybe for 5 minutes at a time in the last year and a half. My 13-year-old, they just disconnected me from him. He suffers from epilepsy. The reason I came back to Israel after 10 years of not being here, and these are children that I raised basically all their lives, but especially since 2008, when their mother chose drugs and a boyfriend over her own children. I raised them. I finally came back to Israel in 2014, and by 2015 they were taken. I was accused of alimut b'mishpacha. Interesting enough, different than others, and not like the past, I have not been arrested and have not been brought up on charges. However...
You are under arrest right now.
Yeah, that's right. Before I continue, I just want to say to all the fathers, be strong. No alcohol, no drugs, do not commit suicide. Be strong, stand tall. This is our courtroom, and the judges and socialists have to know this is the beginning. You're on trial now, and we're not afraid of you, and we will stand tall. אנחנו נעמוד חזק, לא לפחד, לא להתאבד.
You have an urge to speak?